What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's game, the Yankees won 6-0. We'll be recapping tonight's affair, or this afternoon's affair. Before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you can know when we post. We got you guys with morning podcasts, with player analysis videos, highlights, these post-game recaps. All the stuff you could possibly want with your New York Yankees is right here with the Fireside Yankees community. And make sure to use our code Fireside on Underdog Fantasy to start playing their Pick Em or draft game modes today. With that being said, though, let's start with the pitching side of the ball. And Jhony Brito was stellar. Jhony Brito was excellent today. There's no other way to put it. Yes, he only gave you 5 innings, but there were 5 spectacular innings. I'll say that. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, a couple of hits, no runs. I mean, he was just dominant. He took 75 pitches to get through those 5 innings, or 76, excuse me. And if you look at his pitch repertoire, I mean, it's stellar. The changeup was excellent. He had a 50% whiff rate on the changeup. The sinker looked really good today. The curveball was excellent. He'd be able to get some, pretty good contact on the 4-seam fastball. He just looked excellent today. And if you look at his fastball averages and velocity, 94.8 on the sinker, 95.6 on the 4-seamer. He's got some good velocity. He's got some good life. He's got some good movement. He looked excellent today. The Giants just looked befuddled. They really didn't know what to do with Jhony Brito. There was a part in that 4th inning where it looked like maybe the Giants could get him to crack, and they couldn't. He was excellent. He was incredible. He was everything the Yankees could have possibly asked him to be today, especially considering he was on a 76 pitch count. So, I think he looked excellent. I think this is about as good of a debut as you can ask for the New York Yankees, and I'm certainly excited to see what Jhony Brito can give the Yankees going forward. After Jhony Brito was Jimmy Cordero, who tossed 2/3 of an inning, had a hit by pitch, gave up a hit, 2 strikeouts, a little bit wild, but his stuff was really good. Ultimately, didn't surrender any runs, and we'll talk about why he didn't surrender any runs. But look, he was absolutely stellar as well. Stuff was great. The fastball looked excellent, averaging 98.2 miles an hour. Overall, really good day for him, in my opinion. Definitely some things he'd like to work on, but I think it's a good first showing for someone who really has to prove themselves in this bullpen. Then you have Ron Marinaccio, who came in and tossed in an inning and a third of just absolute nastiness. 15 pitches, 3 strikeouts, no walks, no hits, no earned runs. Got out of that jam that I mentioned earlier with Jimmy Cordero. He was excellent today. His stuff was moving. His 4-seam fastball was dominant, 50% whiff rate. Didn't really even have to go to much of his other pitches. He used 10 of his 15 pitches as fastballs. He didn't really need to go into that changeup that we know is lethal. Even that sweeping slider that we know can be devastating. So, at the end of the day, I think he looked excellent. I'm really excited to see what Ron Marinaccio can do for the Yankees this year. Actually, Nick wrote a really good piece, talking about Ron Marinaccio earlier in the offseason, and I think that's a piece you guys should definitely check out. Again, Marinaccio's nasty. I think a lot of people were excited about Marinaccio coming into the year. None more than Nick, of course. But honestly, I really do think he's going to live up to the hype. He's a guy coming off a really good year last year. He's got nasty stuff. If the command is somewhat improved from last year, he's going to be one of the best relievers, not just in the Yankee bullpen, but in all of baseball. Then to close the game, we had Colton Brewer, who tossed 2 innings of scoreless baseball, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And I'm not going to toot my own horn over 2 innings, but I will say I did do a video earlier today talking about Colton Brewer and what he can provide to the New York Yankees, and I think he looked pretty good in his debut. Again, the Yankees, we're not going to do small sample size analysis. We're not going to sit here and talk about conclusions and this and that. Guys are not good or bad in April. You're either, or not that they're not good or bad in April, but you cannot decide whether a player's season will be good or bad just based on April. You can get a hint, you can get a little bit of a sense as to what their adjustments may have been or what things could cause them to struggle, but you really can't draw conclusions this early into the season. However, I will say, the bullpen looked good today. The rotation looked really good today, Brito looked really good today. The pitching looked good today. 2 shutouts for the Yankees in the series. Obviously, the big blip was yesterday when they lost that game, gave up 7 runs. But overall, I think they looked really good on the pitching side of the ball. As a whole, they struck out 12 batters. They only walked 2, and they only gave up 3 hits. That's an excellent showing from your pitching staff. So, really good job by the New York Yankees pitching staff today. Now, let's get into the offense, and let's talk about Mr. Giancarlo Stanton, because he did something to a baseball that might be illegal in multiple countries, and that is hitting it 117.8 miles an hour, 485 feet into center field. This was after another Aaron Judge blast. Aaron Judge and Stanton now have 2 home runs in the year. And look, let me tell you something about Giancarlo Stanton. You can get mad at him about the double play. You can get mad at him about whatever you want to get mad at him about because he doesn't run, because he's a DH, because he gets hurt, whatever it may be. But when Giancarlo Stanton is healthy, this dude is elite. This dude is spectacular. He's special. He's an absolutely phenomenal hitter. This isn't me sample sizing from April. This dude is incredible at baseball. He's an incredible hitting talent. And I still fail to understand why some people do do not like Giancarlo Stanton. As my boy Stan would say, Daddy Stan was just on one today, and he's been on one for the year, really. To start off the year, he's got 2 home runs. He's got a lot of hard hit balls. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing from Stanton so far. And to kind of tack on here, Aaron Judge, man. Aaron Judge is off to a great start this year, hitting 462, 135, 1385 OPS. Obviously, you expect Aaron Judge to hit, but, considering that, this is his first series as the captain, first series since getting paid that big contract, there's a little bit of pressure. Michael Kay talked about this. There's a little bit of pressure added when now you're the captain. Now you get paid all this money. You're coming off of an MVP historic year. And what does Aaron Judge do? He just goes out there and continues to do what he did last year, which is absolutely mash. Some other notable offensive performances today. Higashioka, he got his first home run of the year. He belted a shot into left field, 1 for 4 on the day. Oswaldo Cabrera had 2 hits, and this is big for Cabrera, who struggled a lot early on this season, but is finding his rhythm a little bit. I think he needed a day like today where he just collected a couple hits. Both of them hit over 106 miles an hour, so he's really crushing the baseball when he makes contact. But a good day for him. Anthony Rizzo, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, an RBI and a sac fly, and a single. Really strong day from Anthony Rizzo. This is a guy who just doesn't get enough credit sometimes for having some really good performances by just doing the right things in and in out. And, he continues to perform really well at the plate. He continues to just be rock solid in the middle of that lineup. It's that Judge, Rizzo, Stanton trio that you're looking at this year to give you a lot of your offense, and they've delivered so far. You had Anthony Volpe who worked the walk today. Gleyber Torres had a single. By the way, Volpe and Torres both had stolen bases. They put on a base running, just an absolutely spectacular display of base running. They continue to run the bases well. I think it's an element of this team that they really need. Volpe has 3 stolen bases now in his first 3 games. I know the joke is going to be he's on pace for 162, but seriously, this kid can run, and I think it's a big weapon for this offense. And then we also got to see IKF in center field. I think he had a couple of good at-bats. That first line out was just a ridiculous play by J.D. Davis. But he didn't look bad in center field. I imagine that the Yankees are going to give him some run there, not to start, but just to play there every now and then. And then if you look at kind of looking ahead a little bit, Aaron Boone hinted at giving Hicks some starts against Taijuan Walker and against Matt Strahm. Now, Hicks did have some comments. I don't know if this was before the game because the article was released during the game from The Athletic, where he talked about not wanting to, he being Aaron Hicks, of course, he talked about not wanting to just come in as a pinch hitter. He doesn't really know what his role is on this team. And I understand being disgruntled. I don't think those comments are going to fly over well with a lot of fans. I imagine most people watching this video do not like Aaron Hicks. But I will say that, as long as Aaron Hicks is able to contribute, I would prefer him not to make comments off the field like that. But I understand his frustration in the same sense. It's not like he's airing it out publicly. He's talking to a reporter. They turned it into a story. It's frustrating to not really know what the outfield roles are. But the Yankees are just going to play the hot hand. And, hopefully Hicks gets in there against Walker tomorrow and against Strahm in the second game of that Philly series and is able to go out and perform and get himself back in the lineup a little bit. But with that being said, that really covers everything that happened in today's game. A pretty eventful day for the Yankees. 6-0, kind of a breezy win. They didn't really have too many high leverage moments, too many high stress moments. If this team continues to pitch the way it's been pitching early on, if this team continues to hit the way it's hitting early on, it's going to be a really fun season for the New York Yankees. So we'll have to wait and see, obviously, to see how this season unfolds. But first series win. So really happy with the results from today's game. And of course, you guys can let us know your opinions in the comment section below. Tweet at us, comment under our Instagram posts, comment under our TikTok posts. Tweet at me. You can find me at Ryan Garcia ESM on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys got on your mind. I want to know what you guys are talking about with the New York Yankees because we, of course, are nothing without you guys, the fans. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay hot, Yankee fans. Let's go, Yankees. Peace out.